if there's any false controversy when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2, it has to be the game keycard thing because over the past 5 years, the past 3 years, I've switched entirely to digital only, right? Like, there's no reason not to own games digitally. I prefer them; they're more convenient. There's plenty of case on the of space on the consoles, right? Like digital gaming is like my thing now, right? But apparently, the online gaming community doesn't seem to agree with me. Like, they seem adamant that, like, oh, we need to keep physical. We need to keep physical around. Like, I like having games on a shelf. It's just a giant cope. These guys have not stuck with the times at all. It's amazing to see the double standard in this community because on one hand, you have like these guys like trying to tell you that, like, oh man, Steam, it's my primary platform. I love Steam. Oh, like, and then they turn around and then they try and like tell you that like Nintendo games need to have physical copies of games. It's such a weird double standard in this community because like one of the big like primary responses when it comes to like the game key card thing, it's not just buy the game digitally. It's I'm going to buy the game on Steam because I have more ownership of it. Which, first of all, is wrong because you don't own your games on Steam. You're just licensing, paying for a license to play them. But like the weird aspect of it is just like the community seems like intent on gaslighting people into thinking that like Nintendo Switch 2 has this like huge problem when it comes to like third party ports and how they're handled on the console. Like Nintendo dropped the ball or something when like every other platform you basically has the same service, like this is what the third parties wanted. They did not want their games on physical media, and they've been fighting this for decades. Like they've been wanting to make this happen for a long time. Like with Xbox games, with physical Xbox games, you have to like download them from the internet, right? You have to have your Xbox connected to the internet to download the game so you can play this. Like, it's the same system essentially. So like the mindset of like the community, acting as if like first of all that game key cards are an unprecedented thing, and then secondly acting as if like other platforms are doing it differently. It's just so delusional and out of touch with like how things are actually working, like what the actual practical solution to these things are. Because like the narrative is that like well game key cards are worthless, so like just buy digital, like this isn't complicated, bro. Like, I still do not own a single like physical Switch 2 game. I have no desire to. Like, I have too much like I've taken up too much space with physical media in general. So I've been moving away from it for the past 3 years for that reason. Is that like, yeah, I don't like physical media clogging up my shelves. Like all these games that I don't play, that I had no intention of getting rid of, but I don't play. Like, it's just taking up space that I could be using for like books. Like more practical things. Like physical media is on the way out for this reason. Is that like, why do I need all this space for stuff that I don't really use? Like, again, it's something I felt about like a lot and have moved towards. But a lot of people are really adamant that like this is a terrible thing and that this is somehow going to ruin gaming, even though they don't really quantify as to why, what the issue actually is. And the reality is, like, there is no fundamental issue with game key cards, right? There is no problem with the service and how it functions, the purpose it serves. Like, it's just a game key card. It's no different than just downloading the game on Steam, and yet like people want to act as if like there's some huge like there's some huge problem with it. And It's just a method of condemning Nintendo's consoles and its games and how they function and all of that. And it does need to be said going forward that that the double standard when it comes to like Nintendo consoles versus Steam in particular, it does need to be called out because that's been the go-to response every time that like something's been confirmed to be on a game key card. Oh, I'm just gonna get it on Steam, which is uh which is just a gigantic cove, and it really needs to be called out for what it is. Like I've been saying this about Nintendo, Switch 2 in particular, but I suppose all Nintendo consoles. Uh, for a long time now is that like people make up controversies to be upset about. Like last gen it was the Joy-Con drift, and now it's the game key cards. Like nobody really cares about this. This is not some major like deal-breaking thing. And yet, like every single time, a new game gets announced, we have to deal with the community just spurging out about the possibility that like this game could be on a game key card. It's just disgusting. I do think that we do need to call this out and address the fact that like none of this makes any sense. It's not building up to anything. It's not productive. It's just people coping and seething about how things are a little bit different than they used to be. It's appalling, and I am uh I am definitely very, very sick and tired of hearing about it. Going forward, I elect to not listen to people complaining about game key cards, not engaging in discussion about game key cards, about arguing with people over game key cards. Like it is just a complete waste of everyone's time. You know, like if this is the go-to response you are going to have when downplaying Nintendo Switch 2 and its games, there is simply no conversation to be had. Like these things have absolutely no impact on the console at all. And you are going to see that for a fact going forward on this platform. And we've already seen how many of these games that are on game key cards have done extraordinarily well on Nintendo Switch 2, and we will continue to see that in the future. But for now, the big narrative cope is that game key cards are causing third-party games to fail on the platform, and that simply isn't true whatsoever.